The thing that I've noticed is that it's very difficult building a business as an empath. I think this isn't touched on enough, and I think on the internet we're so used to the word empath being thrown around. I feel like no matter how big or small your business is, as an empath, you really tend to absorb all of the emotions that come with building a business and dealing with people, most importantly, especially if you're in a people-intensive industry, like for example mentorship or coaching or in-person sales. And one thing that I do want to address from now is that there's nothing wrong with being an empath. There's nothing wrong with feeling the way that you feel about your business and the people in your business that you interact with. You're not incapable and you're not overly sensitive. You're probably just someone that's very in tune with their emotions, and unfortunately in the business world it can really get to you. I guess this is why I wanted to make this video, because I know that there's a lot of other people out there that can definitely connect with feeling a little bit exhausted after interacting with a lot of people in business. But I definitely want to get into why you feel what you feel. But I did a whole bunch of research that I'm currently applying in my own business that I really wanted to share with you guys, because I know you're going to find it super helpful. I just really want to help you understand why it can feel so exhausting and what you can do to fix and what you can do to stop letting it sabotage your growth. So let's just get into the video. I feel like one of the absolute biggest issues running a business as an empath is just dealing with people problems. I feel like what tends to happen is that we kind of absorb all of the stress from our team, our clients, all the people that we have to interact with on a regular basis. I feel like a lot of the time we tend to internalize the emotions that other people have, especially if you're a coach and you're seeing that people that you're working with are behind or they're not reaching the potential that you can see that they have. You kind of take it on yourself and think, what could I do more? And I feel like you try to overcompensate and you do more than you actually should. And by doing that, you're not actually helping anyone. You're just spreading yourself thin and overexerting yourself. And 9 times out of 10, when you could actually be investing that energy into something a little bit more productive. I feel like when you internalize everyone's anxiety and worries and problems and failures, you're essentially burning your energy on things that are not yours to carry. Now, again, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just that in business, this can really hold you back. One of the key things that I've been practicing that definitely works is emotional separation. Now, I'm not saying shut yourself down completely and become cold, but if you're in business, chances are you're solving a problem or creating ease in people's lives. I think it goes without saying that your business should be honest and really helping people. And if you know that you're doing the absolute best that you can to provide services and products that actually help people, you realize that you don't actually need to overextend yourself. You just need to find comfort and trust in yourself to know that you're providing the best possible services for people, and any of the feelings and outcomes around that actually don't really have anything to do with you. As long as you've done your best and you're honest, you have nothing to worry about. I feel like one of the key things that I needed to understand is that there needs to be a balance between caring for the clients, caring for the team members, and not taking on their problems as my own. I actually have a student that I've almost been working with for a whole year now, who quite literally had to turn around to me and say, I know you're doing your best, but you do not need to babysit me. And that really took me aback, because I didn't realize how much I was trying to macromanage their success. Like, I had to just leave it to them to handle, if that makes sense. And the crazy thing is that they could see that this was coming from a place of love and obviously wanting them to win, but of course it came across as overbearing. So take notes from me, because I guess it's not always going to work in your favor when you're overexerting yourself. The second problem that I noticed that I would say I'm definitely very guilty of is kind of internalizing feedback negatively. I feel like when you genuinely love your craft and like you put your time and effort and energy into something, like whatever product or service you're selling right now, there's again this hard attachment to the thing that you're putting out. One of the biggest struggles, I think, is tying your identity to the outcomes and the performance of your business. A lot of the times, the direct feedback that you get kind of feels like a personal attack instead of just data, which is exactly what it is. If we see our content underperforming, we tend to feel like we're just becoming irrelevant, when in reality, it could be a change in the algorithm that we've not adjusted to. When you're too focused on the emotional aspect, it kind of blurs you from being able to see things with that actual clarity of what it is. In reality, negative feedback just means that your business needs some sort of refinement in some aspect. And 99% of the times, if you take that feedback as the lesson that it is, as the data that it is, and you implement changes that address that problem, you'll see that your business starts to thrive. Another problem that I would say definitely affects your business is just not having good boundaries. I would say this is one of my biggest issues in my business, because I feel like I try my best to be so understanding. I feel like to maintain professionalism and show up at my full capacity and just be super kind to people, I'm also kind of putting myself on the line, if that makes sense. I remember when I started freelancing, what would typically happen is if people messaged me outside of my working hours, I would still respond immediately. Like, I was up at 3 a.m. to make sure that I replied as soon as possible, to make sure sure that I didn't seem unavailable. Even when I had editors that would quite literally be slacking on work, I was always trying to be as understanding as possible, and I was extending deadlines. I would end up posting way past my own deadlines just to be understanding. If I had a student that told me that they needed to turn up to a call an hour late because they had something going on, I would just say yes, even if it was running into my lunchtime, just because saying no felt so uncomfortable to me. If you feel like you can relate to this, it's more so because you're prioritizing harmony over standards. If you constantly bend your standards to keep everything flowing in harmony and with no discomfort, what happens is you train people to over-expect, so you end up burning yourself out. The quality of your actual business as a whole will go downhill, because if you're so understanding that everyone in your team can just take days off whenever they feel like it or come in late, guess who suffers? Your customers. And at the end of the day, that affects your business. You have to understand that in order for your business to run smoothly and for everyone to be happy, there needs to be systems that are 100% respected. Now, I'm not saying be super stern and have absolutely no flexibility, but I am saying that you need to learn to have much better boundaries and start saying no's to protect the peace of you and your company. At the end of the day, what you need to remember is that no one is going to prioritize your business as much as you do. To implement this, you really just need to set the expectations and standards very early with everyone that you're working with. If that doesn't get respected, you're going to have to make the very difficult decision of seeing how you can navigate around that. That might mean giving someone a warning, that might mean firing someone, that might mean saying no, but just remember that the right team and the right clients will respect the structure that you've put in place. If there's friction when you set your standards, it simply means that they're not meant to be a part of the team. It simply means that they're not aligned with your growth, and that's okay. This next problem is something that I actually find very funny, because one of the main things that we're doing is selling, but I think most of the time we kind of feel like we're almost manipulative when we're selling. As business owners, I feel like we definitely understand the psychological triggers that make someone buy a product or service, but for some reason it doesn't feel natural to actually implement those tactics. Even as another example, I noticed that what we tend to do is underprice our products because charging more feels really uncomfortable for some reason. I feel like this happens because as empaths, we tend to feel people's hesitation. So when we sell, it kind of feels like pressure, even if we're being 100% ethical. What typically happens is we tend to mistake discomfort with doing something wrong. And the only thing that I can say to this is, if you know for a fact that your product is solid and it's honest and you've put your all into it, and that what you're giving out to people is genuinely valuable, then you should be putting it out there and selling it to them, because you're actually helping them. If anything, your pricing should also be reflecting that. It's not manipulation to present someone an offer. What you're doing is putting forward a solution and then giving them a choice. It's not like you're forcing them to buy off you. Also, undercharging to avoid discomfort is not unethical, it's just unsustainable for you. Trust in the process and stand behind your value. If you know you're delivering real value, then you need to act like it. I feel like one of the main things that we need to do is stop seeing being an empath as a disadvantage or a weakness in business. We need to look at the positives, because in reality it gives you depth, and just like the customer connection is actually a superpower, because you have that emotional intelligence and deep intuition that really allows you to connect with people, and it becomes your greatest asset in business if you pair it with structure. I guess the key lesson from this entire video that I really wanted to share is that if you know that you're doing good and honest business and you're actually helping people, then you have nothing to worry about, and you need to realize that most of these obstacles that you're facing are literally just stemming from in here. Anyway, to wrap up this video, I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions or any comments, please leave them down below. I promise I'll respond. Best of luck, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.